points again, baby. So, hey, there you go. And let me check, make sure got everything going. Check to see if under this cord. It is. It's under the former title. There's got to be some like weird way to fix that. I'm not sure, but regardless, I'll go ahead and do a few things. I was having trouble getting the thing to load, or not okay. I was having trouble getting the headphones and stuff to listen properly. So hopefully everything's going good. It looks like from the desktop audio everything's going fine. So hopefully, we'll see though. But regardless, I just restarted the computer, so okay, looks good. Okay, and yeah, we are back on the YouTube Zors with my artsy music shirt. I got him right after the channel supposedly went under, even though they're like still here. So what's going on with that? Maybe they'll port to come back. I don't know. I guess there's some kind of free fighting drama shenanigans going on. So for today's lunch, 今日はですね、昼ご飯はレモンサワー2杯でした。Yeah, we got the lemon sour squad chew high. It's only 5%, I think. 7%. Okay, a little extra thick. But normally, I don't like the lemon flavored chew high. I don't like a whole lot of lemon flavored anything, just because as a kid I did a lot of cleaning, helping my mom out. So I kind of learned to not like the taste of lemon so much, just because I work with so much cleaner that's lemon flavored. Lemon scented. Not that another flavor. But anyway. But I think over the years, I've learned to kind of love, or at least tolerate lemon again. So we're getting there slowly but surely. But anyway, long story short, I don't really like lemon chew high all that often, even though they're the most common flavor. And to be fair, they do pair with Japanese food pretty well. But most of them to me just taste like cleaner. So, but this one actually tastes the most natural. So, even though I don't normally like lemon chew high, this one's an exception. You can only get me once. So, that's why I got the El Chicky Red today. Got it nice and red, coming in hot. So, we'll pair this with some sriracha I got from Amazon today. So I ordered this, and I guess like if you wanted to get something like this in this size, you have to get it from like the import shops. And nobody got off that. Also mixed it a little bit with the little bit of hot sauce I had left. Blair's sent that sauce. So this should be spicier than normal. So, I don't normally put this on my chicken. So yeah. Oh, yeah. And sriracha definitely helps. Definitely. I was trying to think of like what I could get with it. Normally I just pair it with like beef or chicken, but this stuff goes pretty good with just about anything. So yeah. Normally it's not too spicy, but it's a nice little kick and flavor to it. Plus I was going through my Blair's sudden death hot sauce a little too fast, so I figured even though it's not as spicy, this one will last me a little longer. Maybe. This rate, I don't know. Good stuff. See, I'm not sure if we're going to get anybody in the chat today, unfortunately, just because it's a Saturday Japan time, which would make it like a Friday everywhere else, and it's kind of late. Yeah, it's like 11:15 in American land. We're 7:45 in the Pacific side. Yeah, living abroad, I put like little clocks so I know what time it is in different parts of America. So helps me schedule things a little better, or if I want to give people a call, which would be like a normal time, my time, maybe like super late or super early their time. So I just, before I do it, I always check. Okay. Maybe wait. I'm going for the big bit. Yeah, this chicken was a little dry. I can definitely tell it was sitting in the heater a little too long. But add a little bit of sriracha, brings that shit back to life. And plus, a lot of these little fried chicken things you get from the convenience are usually too juicy anyway. So sometimes it's good to get them a little dry, you know? So, before we continue, I'm surprised I didn't get anything on myself. I'm gonna grab a napkin real quick. I will be right back. Literally right behind the camera. Oh, whoop. I dropped my roll. Shit. Okay. Yeah, I just got a roll of, this is, in Japan they got this stuff called kitchen paper. Exposure. Okay, cool. So I got this stuff called kitchen paper, and basically use this and do with napkins because it soaks up everything nice. And they have like the rigid stuff, but if I like, you know, wipe my face, it like tries to rip my lips off, and I'm like, damn, oh, damn, son, that's so clean. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and move on to the main dish here. Oh hey, tilts down all the way. Nice. Fucking nice here. See what I've been rocking the past couple days. Anyway. So we got ourselves some pork soy ramen. Oh shit, I had it right first time. Anyway, so we got some pork and soy ramen. You got yourself the it's flipped on my side, so got yourself a little chashu here, eggy wig there, some chives and stuff, some menma leaf, some garlic, nudes, all the usual suspects. Of course, lemon chuhai, the good one. Most of them are pretty shit, but this one's a good one. And of course, we're gonna add a fuck ton of sriracha to it because I love sriracha. And I missed you, baby. Usually, I just go for the Blair's Sudden Death hot sauce, which is really hot, and I love it. But I go through it too fast, so I decided just to get the big ass in the sriracha. I got it, it was I think about 100, no, it was like 1100 yen. No. Well, this was 1100 yen, but I paid 500 yen extra for expedited shipping. So I want my sriracha now, damn it. And if I go to like Donkey or something like that, they usually come in the smaller sizes. For me, I need that super industrial size. Well, relative to Japan, anyway. I need the big size. So, I guess we'll switch to ramen can, right? There we go. Ooh, there. Alright. That's how you do it. Hopefully this camera doesn't go in the fucking soup. You can hope, right? So, take that off and have a look at that. Little convenient ramen. Make sure you're on that side or whatever. So, good stuff. You got the, you can see it a little bit clearer now. So you got the nudes. Pretty good. I like this thickness. Some people prefer the thinner type, but no. Make them noodles extra thick, boy. Your eggy wig, your chashu, braised pork belly. It comes with little bits of cabbage and stuff here and there. Oh hey, what up, twin lamps? And you got your little garlic pile right there, some chives, and then routine sprouts right in there. Oh, is the audio too low? My bad. Let me fix that. Actually, I'm curious. Oh, that's why. Oh shit, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, is the audio good now? I'm so sorry. That would probably explain a lot. Okay, now, okay, I feel like an idiot. So, what had happened was, I had the mic, because my, okay, cool. Awesome. So I had these headphones, that you can see, also have a little built-in mic, which is complete dog shit, but if I need it, it's there. But I just use these as headphones most of the time. But because it has a mic, sometimes when I stream, the mic that it picks up is the mic on that. And when I stream, I just have these off to the side of my bed. So that's probably why you couldn't hear anything. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So I just switched it over to the mic on my webcam. And hopefully once I move, get some more desk space, we'll include like a proper mic. But the best we can do. Anyway, so now that you guys can actually hear me, let's restart. Okay, so hi, Andy here, and my thick as fuck thighs. So we got this pork soy ramen. Got ourselves a little eggy wig, chashu, the nudes, which are just the right thickness. You got a little garlic pile, little bits of cabbage here and there. You got your spring onion, chives right there. Got the little menma patch right there. Okay. Got ourselves some sriracha that just came in today from Amazon. Then we got ourselves the lemon sour. I don't normally go for the lemon sours, but this one's really good. And I just got done eating some El Chiqui Red. So, anyway, before we do this, we're gonna add a lot of sriracha to this, because man's be missing his sriracha. So, to all those who want a traditional Japanese ramen experience, this ain't the stream for you. I literally just got this from the fucking conveni. So, we're loading this motherfucker up, because karai or die. Yeah. And I also added the rest of my Blair's Sudden Death hot sauce to it too. So it's got a little extra kick than normal. But I was going through that sauce like so fucking much, and I'm just like, man, I gotta get something that's gonna last me a little bit longer. Well, maybe not this rate, but so yeah. The thing with these convenience store ramen is the noodles are a little rubbery on the sides because they nuke it. So you have to give them a little bit of sauce action. Kind of mix them up a bit so that way they get revitalized. But this particular broth, there's not a whole lot of it. It's pretty thick shoyu broth. So you gotta work it. You gotta work them nudes in, baby. Let me tell you. Alright. So now I think we've worked them in a bit. Let's give her a slurp, huh? And yes, I will be slurping because we are in Japan. And, you know, whatever. So. Oh, yeah. That is some good shit. Let me tell you. And I find that ramen, well, especially shoyu ramen, pairs extremely well with added spice. So they usually have like the, you go to like a ramen shop, they usually have like a little like Korean chili stuff. I just load that shit up. I get like a little ball and just pop, put that shit in there. That's the good shit. And also, some ramen shops allow you to custom make shit. So I don't usually get too fancy with it, but I just ask for extra strong broth. So I usually say like koime. That's like strong broth. Everything else pretty much just fits regular. But but you gotta come in with the extra strong broth. Yeah, man. And I got these menma over here. These bean sprouts. Pretty good. Oh, man. So I was just putting together a video for a production company called Hachiko District. And they went to this ramen shop called Butayama, which literally translates to Pig Mountain. And they got what's also known as stamina ramen. So it has like a lot of beef and garlic and menma and shit. It's supposed to give you a lot of energy. I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, man, that's fucking awesome. It kind of reminds me of a, oh shit, that's where the egg went. It went under the fucking chashu. I was like, what the hell happened to the egg? It's right here, folks. I swear I didn't kill it. Yet. Yeah, I was just looking at that video and I'm like, man, that place looks fucking awesome. Whew. Can you imagine doing a live stream there? Shit. That'd be something. I don't know. I missed that one. Oh well. So how you guys doing today? This well, Saturday my time, probably Friday you guys' time, maybe. Sour's good. Yeah, it's like really rainy where I'm at here in Japan, so kind of a day off, sorta, for me. I haven't had like a proper day off in a while, just because, you know, since graduating, I've just been constantly working, keep the lights on and my fat self fed. So as you can see, I'm doing pretty good with both. But if you could, but from the title, you probably already know that school is gonna be starting up in 10 days. I actually looked at the calendar and was like, wow, really? So basically just been wrapping up a lot of my editing commitments, and then I'm gonna be working a bit more on school. That's not to say I won't be editing for other people at all. I'm just gonna be cutting down on a lot of stuff. Because obviously, you know, school does come first, but hope you guys are enjoying the noodle ASMR, right? Yeah, school definitely does come first, you know. So
And plus, I was reviewing my credits because for the bachelor's program, they had to re-evaluate all the credits that I've earned. Because when I first transferred over to Lakeland, I maxed out the amount of transfer credits I could get under the associate's program. But since I got to earn more credits for the bachelor's program, they reassessed me. It turns out I have a fuck ton of credits. So that's a really good thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't cut down my school time by too much. I think all goes well. I would be needing to I'd have to look at it, but I believe I'd have to go through like another 3 to 4, 5 at most semesters. So I could get that done in like a year and a half, depending on availability of classes and whatnot. And the good thing is they would all be relevant to my major and minor. So I don't have to take a bunch of bullshit Common Core courses anymore. It's all the fun stuff, baby. But because of that, they're going to take a little more time and effort than other classes I was taking. So that's why I had to par down on a lot of the editing and shooting stuff. So, alright, I think we'll get this good old chashu action going. Here we go. All covered in sriracha, just the way I love it. That's some good shit. Definitely does add a lot of flavor to it. As I pile on, even. I'm not gonna go too nuts with it. We already kind of went nuts with it, but just a touch. A touch extra. Okay. Definitely got plenty on the eggy wag. Look how fucking. I don't know if it comes up on camera, but this eggy wag is super red. See that? How red that eggy wag is. Just covered in sriracha. We'll get that bad boy next. Ah, fuck yeah. Oh, man. Sriracha is such like a universal good food additive, man. Like, I know it was like a super meme back in the early days with the I put sriracha on everything. It was kind of around the same time that like bacon was a meme. Remember when they put bacon on fucking everything? And we got bacon Sundays and all this other stuff. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I appreciate it. Uni 2 in September, all online. Yeah. Oh, that's another fun thing about with Lakeland. They're gonna be doing stuff all online. I know there's a lot of universities and schools and stuff that are doing like in-person classes, but Lakeland is doing all their stuff online, except for a few classes. So there are some classes where you do have to go in person, but I don't have to deal with those because I already did those courses. So for those, it would be the English, or not the English, but the language learning language classes. So if you want to learn a different language, you have to go in person. Same with public speaking, which I already did that, so I don't have to worry about, yo, what up, Siobhan? So those are like the only two exceptions. And even then, you only have to go in on Monday. The rest of it you can do online. So that's nice. Yeah, I'm just sitting here eating some ramen. It's good stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I want to move, actually. It's just because I know we're going to be doing stuff more online. So I figured I don't have to be within commuting distance of the school anymore. Plus Tokyo is like way too expensive. It's too busy. All that stuff. And like don't get it twisted. I love visiting Tokyo. Tokyo's a great place. But it's one of those things, man. And I was actually talking with someone about this because one of my friends is like, "Yo, I'll never leave Tokyo. Like, I'm all settled here and everything." And, you know, good for him. But it's one of those things, like, I equate Tokyo with Apple. The computers, not the fruit. And that basically, it's a really fine system. They got a lot of stuff going for them. And if you get within their ecosystem, a lot of stuff works out. But if you try to get outside their ecosystem, then you usually run into problems. Okay, that was, I guess the chill vibe music glitched out there for a second. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, it's just like Apple, where once you get into the system, it's hard to get out because you get so interlocked with everything, with, you know, the job, the commute, all the niceties that involve living in a big city like Tokyo, you know. So even if you move to like a different section of Tokyo, you're still in Tokyo. But for me, I like to be closest to Tokyo, to where I can do big city things if I want to, or if I have a job or something out there that I need to do, then awesome. But I don't like need to live near Tokyo, especially these days, where most of my stuff's done online anyway. Like with work, never really had to show up in person, except for shoots. And that's about it, really. And even then, those are just limited to the weekends. So, like, I'm only going in once, maybe twice a week at most, if anything. And that really cuts down on the commute time, which is another reason why I was leaving one of the companies I work for. And they're a great company, great people. They're doing a lot of good things, but yeah, just that commute was fucking getting to me, dude. Like, I'd leave around 5 or 5:30, wouldn't get home till like 6 or 7, because the trains would be fucking packed with salarymen and shit. And it's just like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Fuck that. I'm gonna have to clean this table up after the stream. Goddamn, get shoyu all over the place. But yeah, so that's why I switched to doing just work from home stuff, aside from like going in and filming things. Which we'll be doing next Saturday. Oh, what drink? Oh, this is Lemon Sour Squad. It's exclusive to Lawson's. You only get it at Lawson's. It's a lemon chuhai. So it's basically like lemon juice mixed with club soda and shochu, which I guess is like rice alcohol. Closest I could think of would be like vodka, but it's a lot smoother than vodka. Vodka just ends up burning, but shochu's very deceptive, man. Like, you can get extremely drunk extremely fast without realizing it with shochu, because especially when it's teamed with you know, these types of drinks, like, it goes down really super smooth. These are generally pretty cheap, especially compared to beer, you know. And for these, lemon is the most common flavor. And to be fair, it does pair pretty well with Japanese food. But I don't really like the taste of lemon too much. Just because I did a lot of cleaning with my mom when I was a kid. And you know, I'd use like a lot of like lemon products for cleaning solvents, you know, like Pledge and shit like that. So whenever I'd smell or taste lemon, all I could think about is just cleaner. You know? It's like, it feels like I'm drinking Pledge. But if you get real lemon juice, then it's okay. But like the artificial lemon juice, I can taste like immediately. So it's hard to find a good lemon Chuhai by my standards. Even though there's like a fuck ton of them. But this one's definitely the top. Top of the pops, baby. When I do get lemon Chuhai. And we got some other adult beverages in the fridge as well. We got what's called a white sour, which is basically kind of like a white yogurt flavored Chuhai. It sounds really disgusting, but it's actually one of my favorites. It's a really nice, smooth drink. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I heard in the news that they're offering it for free. For, yeah, if we didn't know which vaccine it was. But I heard in the news they're offering it for free for veterans. So I'm looking into possibly getting it. If I can get on base. I just gotta figure out how I can do that. Because if I was in America, it'd be easy. I'd just roll into like any VA hospital, fucking get it for free, and just peace out. But here in Japan, obviously the only VA hospitals are on base, and I don't have access right now. So it's a little difficult. Let's get all the garlic bits. Hell yeah. Alright. There we go. Goshiso sama deshita. Good meal. Put that shit to the side. Move this. Oops, sorry. Gotta readjust the camera a little bit. Okay. Really good. Clean this table off because there's like a bunch of shoyu and shit just everywhere. While I'm slurping. I think that's something I kind of learned to be okay with, because normally I don't like noises when I'm eating, but slurping noodles in Japan is okay. What time is it? It is noon on Saturday. So yeah, just got done with lunch, sipping on a nice adult beverage. Yeah, you gotta love this sriracha, man. Good stuff. Even though it's not the typical, like, speaking to the future. Yeah, what's the future like? It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Oh, man. But yeah, so, gonna be going back to school in 10 days. Just doesn't seem like it's been like 4 going on 5 months since I graduated. Actually, let me calculate that just to be accurate. Because I'm curious to see exactly how many days it was. Oop. Graduated December 7th, which is my birthday. Last year. I start on the 27th. I'll include the end date in the calculation. So it'll be 142 days from when I graduated on December 7th to when I start school again on 27th of April. Oh, geez, I see so many freaking spots on my monitor. Go back over and really clean these off. Sorry, a little particular about some of that shit, especially when I'm editing and I'm like, why does that look so blurry? It's a fucking spot from ramen juices and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, 142 days or 4 months and 21 days. Dang. It was like just yesterday when I graduated. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna be starting up under the bachelor's program this time around. So because of that, they had to recalculate my my transcript because I'd maxed out all of my transfer credits when I transferred under the associate's program. And for the bachelor's program, they had to recalculate all that. So yeah, I'm gonna be studying. My major is gonna be business admin with a minor in communications. So I honestly just prefer to study communications, but most of the communications courses in colleges kind of put you through like a journalism type path, you know, like learning newspaper shit, which would have been cool back in like '95, but nowadays it's like most of the newspapers are getting bought out by big companies and stuff anyway, so it's like, you know. But what you gonna do? Shogun, my guy. So gonna be, because the minor, I only need like I think 4 or 5 classes. First master's, dang, fun to study. Wow. I don't know if I'll reach master status. I don't know if I want to do that graduate life style. I'm working hard as it is just to get a frickin' bachelor's, but yeah, like I've been looking through the courses and everything, and it seems like a really fun program to go through. In fact, what we can do is, let's see if I can bring that bad boy up. Or, not the Japan one. See if we can. All right. So, I don't think. Yeah, well, yeah, master. Well, no, I don't think it's. I mean, it depends on what it is, I guess. But I think master's just like 2 or 4 years extra, I believe. Don't quote me on it. I don't have a master's. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and switch over to this. Let me get my comments up so I can still keep track. This is what you got to do when you don't have 2 monitors. You just get it loaded up on your phone. That's how it works. Anyway, so because they don't have it on the Lakeland University Japan website, I don't believe, LEJ, like that. No. They said they were getting a new website, but nah, it's still the same old ass one. Let's see if they even have it up on the website. Yeah, it's not even officially announced yet, because I guess they were going to announce it officially once they get the new website, but they haven't got the new website yet. And they don't even have the bachelor's degree announced. Good times. But anyway, so going to the Wisconsin website, business admin. This one has 20 areas of emphasis at the home campus, but with Lakeland University Japan, they only have 3. And those are communication, hospitality management, and I believe international business, I think is the other one, if memory serves. But yeah, I'm going through the the communication route. So that was 2 years. There you go. So yeah, so I guess it would be 2 years extra from undergrad for a master's. PhD after that. Dang. Yeah, PhD would be after that. So, okay, we'll go through. See, one of the cool things about this at the. Yo, Lee, what up, dude? How's it going? Yeah, one of the cool things about the home program, and this is actually something I was looking at, if the Japan campus wasn't an option, was they have this thing called co-op and internships. So, like, I could basically take a year off of school, still technically be in school, and get to work for a company essentially full time. So I can build up experience, and they'll pay me, in addition to what I earn at the job, they'll also give me like a scholarship as well. So, and that wouldn't clash with my GI Bill. So it'd just be like money I pocket away. So there's that. And then we'll go traditional students. So that way you can see like all the courses and stuff I gotta deal with. So, but yeah. So for the minors, or I guess they call them focuses, or emphasis, emphasis, I don't know. Regardless, emphasis, there you go. Yeah, yo, what up, Nightmare World? We have a lot of interesting people in the chat today, awesome. So anyway, for the major, you gotta take these courses, and these are pretty much the courses that I need to take because I have not taken them. And then for communications, I'm gonna be taking literally half of this. You're making plays, hell yeah, dude. So for communications, this coming semester, I'm gonna be taking team-based and group comms and news writing. And then the following semester, I'm gonna be taking these two, hopefully, if they offer it. It just depends on what's going on. So the idea is to have this minor completely finished out by the end of the year. And then I'll just literally focus on like major stuff. So as far as stuff that I already have done, I got microeconomics already done. So this semester I'm going to be going into macroeconomics. And then I'm going to be going into financial accounting principles next. Because I've already done Business 150, I've done microeconomics already said. What was the other one? I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, because under the associates program they didn't really offer much in the 300 set and above. They offered, I think, like 1 or 2 courses in 300 set. But yeah, so I gotta take like the 300, 400 stuff, mostly. I'm not looking forward to taking probability and stats. I barely passed just regular ass math. Although I don't know if I have to take that one, because maybe my previous math course exempted me, I'm not sure. But if I do, then I'll save it for last. I don't have to deal with it. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna be pretty busy for the next couple of months, year and a half, basically. So that's why I'm gonna be like lowering the amount of stuff that I'm doing as far as editing projects go. Yeah, math is always a chore, man. It's fucking rough. So let me look up my transcript stuff. I'm not gonna bring it up on screen because it has like personal shit on there, but we'll see. Because I got like a lot of credits apparently. So apparently in total, from all the stuff from all the schools I've gone through, I have 114 total credits. So, which would seem pretty awesome, right? Because it's like, in theory, I could graduate with like 6 credits. But because a lot of these are required courses that I have not taken, you know, the 300 and up set, even though I have 114 credits, and my class standing is senior, yeah, I'm looking through this and it looks like a fucking chaotic mess. So, yeah, distributional studies, I ain't gotta fuck with that. Awesome. Because I did all that under the associate's program. Senior 6 events. I don't know what that means. Okay, I don't need 6 events. 6 events for now. I'll have to look into that, see what that means. Some things required 6 events. I don't know what events are. Like classes? I don't know. So how much of a grind has it been in Japan since you made the move? Sounds like you're doing well, man. Yeah, it's it's been pretty crazy, you know. Cool. So we got math, 6 events. I don't know what the fuck that means. Courses? Yes, courses. Regardless. So I need to complete all these and one of the following to decide which I do. Okay, cool. Right. So let me get to that question in just a second. So for my communications emphasis, once this next semester is complete, all I need to do 2 more classes and that one's good. After this coming semester, I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I need to do 9. So 11 courses altogether in order to graduate. So that would be, obviously, if I take 4 courses a semester, which is like the average, so 11 over 4 would be 2 3/4, so basically 3 semesters. So that's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. But anyway, getting back to your question there, Lee. So how much of a grind has it been since I made the move to Japan? There have been times where it's been like really hard. Not gonna lie. Especially when I first moved, because if you guys have been following me, during that time it was really rough because I had just barely enough money to make the move out to Japan. Like, I saved up, and you guys know I sold a lot of stuff and did a lot of editing work and did a lot of stuff and I basically put all the chips on the table as much as I could to move out to Japan. And those first 3, definitely 3, leading into 4 months were the hardest because I had like no money and was basically just going from check to check until I got that first GI Bill check. Because before then I was just doing freelancing and relying on savings and the kindness of others, and it was really rough, living in that box. Once I started getting the GI Bill checks coming in regularly, then things got a lot easier, and I was able to move to my own private room guest house out here in Kawasaki, and from there things got way easier because I'm able to focus on work a lot better here than when I was living in the box, and I don't have to worry about old Colony Macaroni as much because I'm pretty much like a recluse. I stay in here most of the time, for better or worse. But I've made all of my work and now school online, so I don't have to leave to really do anything unless it's like getting food or whatever. But that's just a really... Oh, what up, Monarchy? What are you up to? Hopefully you're enjoying your break. what you have left of it, anyway, right? So yeah, super proud of your GPA this semester. You really did good, especially some of this stuff like that. Yeah, that had to be scary, especially since it probably felt pretty isolated, especially when it was yeah. When Old Clone Macaroni first started up, there was a lot of uncertainty. Sometimes it's good to do nothing, though. That's something I gotta learn to do. But regardless, yeah, it was definitely Dean's List. Hell yeah. But yeah, it was definitely very isolating when Clone Chan World Tour first kicked off, because nobody really knew how long it was going to last. They didn't really know a whole lot about what it was and all this, that, and the other. And meanwhile, I'm living in a box with open air ventilation, and a lot of folks in that guest house didn't exactly wash their hands all the time. So, I happen to have that microecon book. No, I think that's the one I got on Kindle. I think I rented that one, unfortunately. Check just to be sure. Because, yeah, I'll definitely sell you some stuff. Yeah, that microecon book was rental. And to be honest, I didn't use it at all. Yeah, it's an ebook. Yep. Yeah, I just rented it off of Kindle, so I got it for way cheaper, and I didn't have to worry about shipping. Because that's the problem with a lot of these books, is that a lot of them ship from America, so it takes a while. And meanwhile, when they're going through class, they're just going through it, right? And it would be nice if we got the syllabus ahead of time, so that way we can order it in advance. But you don't really know if what the book's going to be, or even if you need it at all. Because there's some courses where it's on the syllabus, but teacher will say, you don't really need it, or maybe you can order it and we'll use it later. Because that's what happened with some of my other courses, was they had us order 2 books, and then one of them was going to be used later in the course, so you didn't have to get that one book right away. But yeah, most of the time I just get the shit off of Kindle if I can help it, so that way it's literally zapped to my phone if I need it. Most of the time I don't, but I just get it just on the rare case that they're open up your books to page blah, 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 blah. But yeah, getting back to the whole isolation thing, yeah, it was definitely really rough at first, but I learned to kind of embrace the advantages of taking online classes, and that's something that I was recently thinking about, because I did an interview for the Lakeland paper. It's gonna be coming out shortly, I guess under the alumni section or whatever. But yeah, I did a short little interview with them. And I mentioned that when, Clone Chan World Tour first kicked off, that, like I said, I felt very isolated because I didn't really know the language all that well. I was kind of getting back into it. But, when I first came back to Japan, like I said, I had no money. So everybody wanted to go out for drinks and karaoke and izakaya and shit like that. And I'm like, yes, I really want to. I'm like, this is awesome. Can you guys wait till March? That's when I get paid. Once March rolls around, we'll just fucking go ham. And then Clone Chan World Tour hit. All of a sudden, a lot of the exchange students went back to their home countries. A lot of the Japanese kids, they're either just in their little apartments, or they moved back to mommy and daddy's house in the Inaka, so they weren't even in Tokyo anymore. And yeah, that was pretty rough. And then when I was living in the box, a lot of people shifted to either work from home, or they got their hours cut, so my ability to do homework and everything was really negatively affected, because I couldn't sit and concentrate. And sitting in my box I couldn't do that for too long a period of time because like my legs would start hurting, my back would hurt, and it's just I can't focus, you know. So that's why, you know, rented out some hotel rooms for some of the big assignments, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have to do this. I should just be able to come home and focus on what I need to focus on, right? So that's when I looked into getting another place. And the box was meant to be temporary anyway. You know, I never had plans to live in there long term. It was just meant to, you know, get me started in Japan and then find the next place. Either another guest house or hopefully an apartment or something. So, and it eventually led me to this guest house, and then I'm also going to be moving, I don't even know when at this point, because they haven't gotten back to me yet, but I'm planning on moving further south in Kanagawa to be near the Shonan Beach area by Sagami Bay. But I haven't heard back from the real estate agent yet because they're working staggered hours because of Koan-chan. And yeah, so I guess as it stands right now, I probably won't be able to move until Mayish, maybe even June. Hard saying. But yeah, like I said, you know, once things got going with the classes and I moved out here, that was a big game changer for me. And I started to really take advantage of having online classes versus, you know, commuting to class and going into a classroom, just, you know, having to interact with people and stuff, versus, you know, just rolling out of bed and like that's my commute basically. And even then I could just take my laptop to bed with me so I don't even have to get up if I really wanted to be lazy about it. But yeah, so how's my Japanese? It's a little choto, I gotta say. Yeah. Yeah, my Japanese isn't quite where I want it to be. Just because, again, when I first moved out here, I was planning on, you know, being a lot more sociable than I was before. Because before, like, I was just saving up to get out to Japan, and I didn't want to socialize. I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of stuff I didn't need. I just kept everything to like a bare minimum, you know, and just kept the blinders on as best I could. And be like, all right, we're gonna get out to Japan, and then we're gonna fucking take the blinders off and go nuts. And then when I got to Japan, it was like I only had so much money, and I was like, all right, when March comes around, when we get that first big check, we're gonna style. We're gonna go to karaoke, we're gonna hang out with all the exchange students, we're gonna have just a grand old time. Go fucking nuts. But life has other plans. And plus, you know, it's been a year since then, so, you know, things are starting to get a little bit back to normal. Very slowly, but we're getting there. Sorry, I'm a little behind on comments. Bought business book and then use it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you got to pay attention to first day class, because, you know, sometimes they'll say you need it, other times they won't, and so on and so forth. But most of the time, you don't really need the books. I mean, just straight up, you don't really need it. But I always get it just to be on the safe side, just on the errant chance that they're like, hey, look in your book. Yeah, I rented an Airbnb for 2 days to study for midterms because I couldn't focus on the share house, and finally went to my boyfriend's house until I did. Yeah, it's just, you know, some people, they can just, you know, completely zone in on what they need to get done. But for me, like, I need that nice, quiet environment to where, like, I don't have to worry about shit going on in the background. You know, and just, and especially with, you know, ADD, you know, sometimes I get a little distracted and I'm like, huh? What? You know? And it's one of the other reasons why I decided to move from Tokyo, because it was just too much stimulation and it just started to wear on me, you know? But yeah, so getting back to Lee's thing, I wish I had the courage to make huge plays like that. Honestly, I thought you were crazy when you first told me you were in Japan. Now I'm just impressed. Yeah, man, I was totally serious. I mean, we still out here. Been back for over a year at this point. Let's see. year and 4 months and some change. I think it was when I first came back. And I go and look at the first Andy Japandi video I made for the new season of me like going to the airport and everything like that, and I'm just like, wow, this is a fucking time capsule right here, you know, because like masks weren't a thing, at least until I got to Japan. So everybody's running around in an airport, it's all crowded, there's no masks or any of that other stuff. And I'm just sitting there just like, yeah guys, I'm just gonna wait for the plane, or we're gonna be riding for like 15 hours, you know, in Japan. I'm just like, what the hell, man? Oh, Lee, oh shit. Hey, it's been a while, dude. I didn't recognize your username. But yeah, like, in rural ass Ohio, yeah, man. Come a long way, baby. You know, that's the thing, you know. Everybody didn't think that I would, like, actually do it, you know. Aye. Virginia! Fun times. Everyone thought I was crazy to drop everything, move here too. Now they're envious. Yeah, that's the thing, man. You know, everybody kind of doubts you until you actually do it. And then they're just like, I believed in you all the whole time. Man, I'm so proud of you. And all this other stuff. And it's like, News. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm about it. I'm just about talking about it. Come on, show it. Oh, there you go. Sorry, it took a sec to approve it. Sometimes the auto approve system with the comments is a little wonky, so. Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Aye. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was definitely for real about it, you know, like, I didn't even know I could come back to Japan unless I already graduated. So I was just kind of at that point of like, well, you know, if I go back to school and get my bachelor's degree, then I can come out here on a work visa and teach English or whatever, and then figure things out from there. But then one of my old shipmates from when I was in the Navy talked to me, and when he was getting out, he just went over to Temple University in Tokyo. It was like, damn, I didn't know you could use the GI Bill for that. And he's like, yeah, you just apply. Because when I was at school before, I tried going back to Japan on a study abroad program, but with the GI Bill, they wouldn't pay for the study abroad program because it wasn't an explicit requirement for my major. So, and I just kind of was like, right. But then when I heard that you could just directly apply to a school in Japan, and he told me about the BAH, because that was another issue too. Because I knew you could apply to foreign schools, but I knew that like the payout was a little different. Like they capped out the amount, so I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to pay the school, and I don't know if I'm gonna get enough money to live off of. Because in Japan, I knew the amount of hours and stuff that I could work was limited, so if I wasn't getting paid enough through BAH, then you know, I'd be kind of fucked because I can only work so many hours. Then he just told me about, you know, some American schools that are out in Japan. I'm just like, fuck, man, why didn't I know about that before? Could have saved myself a lot of fucking heartache if I would have just like applied to a school right as I was getting out of the Navy, a school that was in Japan. Oh my god. You know, because like when I got out of the Navy, I had like over $12,000 in savings, because it's not hard at all to save money when you're stationed overseas. And I was only there for like 2 years. And, you know, as you guys have seen in some of the original Andy Japandi stuff, like, I wasn't too scared about spending money. You know, I was spending money on cameras and laptops and eventually desktop and all this other shit. So I was spending money. And I was still putting away, like, obnoxious amounts in savings. You know, with a lot of cats out there, you know, they end up blowing all their money in port, or, you know, they get a lot of shit from Amazon, and, you know, they're not really thoughtful about it. They just get it just cuz. Whereas when I would get stuff, it would just be practical, you know, and I wouldn't need, like, the most expensive thing, just, you know, something that I like and something that's not too much. And, yeah, by the end of it, I had, like, $12,000 saved on Discipline Equals Freedom. Yeah. Yep, 100%, man. just gotta keep at it, you know. You gotta build up skills. That's another thing, you know. Like a lot of those people, you know, even when we were working together at McDonald's, you know, a lot of people who didn't really have skills outside of that, and that's why they still stuck around with McDonald's, or if they left, they, you know, their outlook was pretty limited, you know, because you just gotta have the skills. And one of the things I thought of was, you know, just, especially with what I want to do with like video editing and shooting and shit like that, like, I didn't think I'd be able to get those opportunities in Ohio, especially not in... You just left last year? Oh, dang. Congrats, bro. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with McDonald's, man. Like, it's just one of those things where, you know, the amount of effort that you put in is not equal to the amount that is given back. And, you know, for me, it was just a good way to bring in some consistent cash, especially back when I was working at that McDonald's. You know, I was just starting up doing freelance video editing, so it was a little inconsistent at the time. Yeah, totally. But I mean, you know, if you're starting out as a kid, or if you're in college or whatever, and you just need a little extra money, like, it's fine. But I just don't like how the managers try to make it seem like a career. You know, they just try to discipline you and have you always working and all this other shit, and I'm like, I don't get paid enough for this shit, dude. Like, especially with that McDonald's in particular, I had to take a pay cut when I transferred to that McDonald's, because I originally came from one up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was getting a lot, well, not a lot more, but a significant amount more. I think I was making like $11 an hour. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking bullshit, man. But yeah, at the one in Kalamazoo, I was making like $11 an hour, and then when I came down to the one in Ohio, I was making like $9.25 or some shit like that, or I think it was $9.75. And they tried to like have me do all this fucking bullshit. I'm just like, I'm getting paid $9.75. Like, I don't fucking care, dude. You know, I'll care enough to get the job done, but like, you know. And that's why eventually, you know, I kind of shifted myself away from the kitchen, because it just got a little too busy there for me. And I think it was also at that point that with that store in particular being as busy as it was, because that's not, yeah, that's fucking rough. Like, that store in particular was run a lot differently than all the other McDonald's I've worked at. You know, whereas with the other McDonald's, there was like not enough people to cover everything. With that one, there was like too many people, and we were like literally like shoulder to shoulder, like just bip, 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 bip. And I was getting like claustrophobic and just like a lot of anxiety and shit, and like I could barely breathe back there. You know, like I couldn't move around like I wanted to, you know, if I needed to put down meat or whatever. You know, like if I were just like move like that, I would bump into like 3 or 4 people. I'm like, Jesus, it's too many people. And that's why I tried shifting myself to back register, where I wouldn't have to deal with anybody except for the customers. So it was just a little easier on the old social anxiety for sure. And I still got paid the same amount, so fuck it, right? Good times. But yeah, man. You know, it's just yeah, I remember sending you the breakdown. Yeah, there's times it was rough, and you know, for me, like, I'm one of those like proud guys. Yeah, I'm just one of those proud guys who doesn't like to admit when things are like getting to him, because I'm just like, I got this, I can power through. We only got a couple more minutes for this lunch rush, or not lunch rush, but supper rush, or whatever. We can just power through this. We got this. You know, if I was going on break soon, like, I got it like 30 minutes before break, I got this. And that's another thing I've learned with freelance video editing, or just working for myself in general, is that you need to learn your limits, and also, you know, take care of yourself better. I say this as I'm drinking lemon chew high. Basically, well, for this, if you're wondering what it tastes like, it's basically like the Japanese version of Mike's Hard Lemonade, but like way tastier. Really fucking good. It's just a guy thing, man. Yeah, no worries. Definitely. And especially for me, like being like way older than everybody in the back, even some of the managers, I was like way older than they were. It was just like, I kind of wanted to show you young bucks, hey, I can still get it even at my age. Still got it. But yeah, just after I quit, it was just like, I cannot go back to fast food anymore. It's too fucking stressful, and I don't get paid nearly enough. Even as a side job, I don't get paid enough for that. So I was just like, nah. And then when I moved to North Carolina, I was actually considering working at like McDonald's or something like that, but because the minimum wage is way lower than even in Ohio, like you know, I would go from making $9.75 or whatever it was. I think like $9.75 at the McDonald's in Ohio. If I were to go to the one in North Carolina, I'd be making $7.75, and I'm like, fuck that. I quit. I don't care. But then I started getting more into like work from home jobs, so that's when I got into not a telemarketing, but like a customer service work from home job, helping out people with TurboTax, which I learned how fucking scummy TurboTax was, being the customer support, because that's when they made a lot of changes to the software and how it was marketed. Yeah, only 23 and was kicking my ass. Yeah, you were just like fresh out of high school, and I could tell like it was getting even to you. It was. That's not that's like the busiest McDonald's I've ever worked for, bar none. I've worked for a lot. Like I worked for the one. Originally, I worked for the one in Salina back when I was still living there. That was back during my high school years. Oh man. So we're talking like early 2000s, just to give you an idea. You're probably just an itch in your daddy's nutsack at that point. But regardless, and that's how I knew Josh, because he transferred over. He was briefly a manager out at the Salina store, and then he moved on to other things. But yeah, exactly. It's you know, I can't recommend doing the minimum wage shit when you're first starting out, because it gives you an appreciation for, you know, obviously, you know, to earn $1 and stuff like that, but also just gives you appreciation for some of the other jobs that a lot of people tend to look down on, because you see like how those people are treated. You know, you get to see a lot of the Karens and the what's the male equivalent? Kevins. Yeah. So you get to see a lot of the Karens and the Kevins coming in and be like, actually, my order was this, and they pay you way too much to be doing this, and all this other shit. So, that's the thing, man. Like, regardless of whatever other job I had outside of McDonald's, like, I never forgot where I came from, and I'm super, super proud of that. You know, because I see people in all types of different professions, whether it's, you know, the minimum wage workers, and especially living out in Japan, most of the time you see them working at the convenience stores or convenies, and they're only making like $10 an hour or so. You know, not really doing a whole lot. But I'm always like super nice to them, and just have so much empathy, because I realize that there's a lot of shitty people. Even in Japan, there's a lot of shitty people. A lot of the old folks, if you get something wrong, fucking stand by, because it's your fucking ass. You know, especially if you work the late shift. Oh man, a lot of drunk salary man rolling in. Old Oyaji coming in for his smokes. Well, what's a McDonald's in Japan look like? That's a good question. Surprisingly, it looks very similar to the ones in America. obviously there are some space differences. They're a lot smaller. They're not quite as like open as the ones in America are. But most of them have like an upstairs dining area. So downstairs is basically just like where you go and order, and some of them, like the bigger ones, they have like a little bar off to the side that you can sit at if you want. But the main dining area is upstairs. And now, because of what's going on, they got like sneeze shields and everything everywhere. So they got these like little plastic dividers separating by space, so that way you can socially distance and whatnot. But yeah, it's generally like way cleaner, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. The food is actually like way better. It's usually a lot fresher, and the selection is obviously a lot different. You know, they don't have quarter pounders out here anymore. They used to when I was first stationed in Yokosuka. They used to have the quarter pounders. They used to cook it to order before that was a thing. Before they did the grill to order quarter pounders, because like nobody would order them usually, so I would always get the little number placard or whatever and just go sit down, and they'd always make it fresh and it'd be fucking amazing. But you know, they got like the regular stuff, you know, like Big Mac, double cheeseburger, filet fish, stuff like that. But they also got like some Japan exclusive stuff. So now they got this thing called a Samurai Mac. So you can get either like a double cheeseburger with like extra thick meat. Kind of think of, I don't know if you're around when they were selling like sometimes McDonald's served like kind of the in-between patties. Almost like kind of like the Grand Mac, sort of, but it was like thicker. Oh, I forget the name of that burger. Some kind of artisanal thing. But it was basically not as big as a quarter pounder, but bigger than reg meat. So I think it was like a 1/6 or something like that. But regardless, so you could get either that with like a bacon deluxe sort of thing. So it's got like bacon and lettuce and tomato, and they got this like soy sauce, this kind of like thick sort of soy sauce concoction that they put on it. So you can either get like the bacon deluxe type version, or you can get like a double cheeseburger version, and that's the new hotness right now. But before, they had like this chicken sandwich that was pretty good. It'd have like an egg on top, and it was really awesome. And then they also got stuff that they call like a chicken mac, which is basically just like a kind of a smaller crispy chicken with mac sauce and some lettuce. Pretty fucking awesome. Some of them have the ebi burger, or the shrimp burger, but I think that's mostly just like a promotional thing. I don't see it too often these days. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. They got some burger chains have what they call shaka shaka fries, which is basically just flavored fries. Like they put a bunch of like flavor dust on it, and then you just like take the bag and just shake it up, and they're all covered in like this flavored Cheeto type dust. Oh, it's fucking outstanding, dude. The one I usually get is the chicken consomme. That's like my all-time favorite. It's basically like almost like powdered chicken stock with a little bit of salt and garlic mixed in, and you just put that shit on fries. Fucking chef's kiss. Fucking awesome. Gotta say. But yeah, you know, they got the usual stuff out here. In addition to McDonald's, they also got Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell. Although most of those stores, aside from McDonald's, which is more pervasive, a lot of those other stores are kind of seen as like more upscale. So like Taco Bell, I guess, would be like the American equivalent of like a Chipotle or something like that. Just in terms of pricing and just how the store is set up, it's a lot cleaner and kind of trendier sort of thing, versus just rolling in at Taco Bell drunk as fuck, getting a bunch of 5-layer burritos and rolling out. You know? Oh man. And the Taco Bell out in Japan actually has frozen margaritas with some adult juice inside. So they got like the lemon margarita, they got a Calpis margarita, which is kind of like a yogurty type. I guess that's like the closest I could think of is something yogurty. What's the thing you miss the most about in the US? I would definitely say the variety of food. Yeah, dude, fucking outstanding. Look it up. I did a video with Eric Surf 6 where we just got plastered. Oh man, we were chocolate wasted going to that Taco Bell because he got a bottle of Patron, and when the cashier wasn't looking, he would just kind of pour a little bit into the frozen margaritas, stir it up and be like, this hit different. And those margaritas got real good real quick, let me tell you. Because how they were originally, they didn't really add a whole lot of alcohol, just a little bit to be like, oh hey, there's alcohol in here, neat. That's the okay, I guess if I would miss one thing about the US is Baja Blast. They unfortunately don't have Baja Blast in the Japanese Taco Bells, but I have heard that the ones on base do. So Taco Bell, as far as being out here in Japan, is a fairly recent thing. I think they came back about 6 years ago, because before you could only get them on base. But when I was there in Yokosuka, they didn't have Baja Blast, unfortunately. But I have heard that they have brought it in, so I'm just like, next time I get to go on base, fuck yeah. We're getting some Baja Blast, baby. But yeah, I'd say like number one thing I'd miss being back in America is the wide variety of foods, because while Japanese food is really good and really plentiful, when it gets down to it, there's not really a whole wide variety of different styles of food, compared to America. Like you got a lot of different regional dishes, of course, and different stylings, which are really awesome. Like with ramen, like there's thousands of different types of ramen you can get out there. But at the end of the day, it's basically noodles, broth, meat, vegetables. There you go. But, in America, especially, depending on where you're at, obviously if you're in like California or something like that, you get like higher quality Mexican food. But yeah, Mexican food is like really hard to come by here. It's hard to get a good burrito or whatever. Whereas, in America, you could just drive to Taco Bell or, go to a Mexican restaurant and get it from there. But yeah, that is definitely one thing I do miss, for sure. I don't really miss driving at all, to be honest with you guys. Like I thought it would. There's times where like the weather's really good and I'm like, man, this could be like good driving weather. Just roll the window down and just fucking go for a cruise. Oh, the Gundam statue in Odaiba. Oh shit, dude. I have to go and see the new statue because they have the Gundam unicorn out there. But the original, I think it was called like the RX-78. Sorry, I don't know too much about Gundam. But the original, like when you think of Gundam, it's that one. I think it's the RX-78, memory serves. But they originally had that in Odaiba, and I made a video of it. It's on this channel. Just look up like Gundam or something like that. And it has like my old ass camcorder showing it off. But they took that Gundam and moved it to Yokohama, which isn't that far away from me. It's about a town. Well, it's the next major town over from where I'm living in Kawasaki. They moved it to this thing called like Gundam Lab or some shit like that. One of my friends made a video about it, and they basically like loaded it up and made the Gundam, the RX-78 2, and they made it like all articulate-y, so like it does like these shows, and get like steam and stuff piling up, and it looks like it's like kind of walking from its launching point, and it lights up and stuff like that. Whereas the original one that was in Odaiba, basically all it would do is like it would light up and like the head would turn. Yeah, the moving one. I think they used that Gundam as like the base, and I think they like gutted it out so it could be more like articulating and shit. But it looks exactly like it. so I wouldn't be too surprised if they just kind of used the bones from that. Then the one they got out in Odaiba is the Unicorn Gundam. So yeah, that's gonna be next on the list as far as Asian Japan stuff. Maybe not next, but you know, it's definitely something I want to do for that series for sure. Because I really loved the one I did when I was out in Odaiba several years ago with that old Gundam, and I want to see the. Well, I guess it's been there for like years now, so it's not that new, but it's new to me, damn it. Yeah. Oh god, they have like an obnoxious amount of Gunpla stuff out here, obviously, and a lot of shit that doesn't get imported into the States too. You know, just so much good stuff. But one place I recommend, because like everybody knows about like Akihabara and stuff like that. That's kind of like the main otaku mecca. And it's definitely a place I would definitely recommend, especially if you're first coming out to Japan. You know, just to get off the bucket list. But if you're like serious about the otaku stuff, the other place I'd recommend that I think is even better, personally I think it's better than Akihabara, would be Nakano Broadway. So I made a video about that on my Indie Japandy channel, showing you guys around the different shops. And it's not as big as Akihabara. Akihabara is basically like the size of a neighborhood. It's not super big, but it's like takes up a good couple blocks of shops and everything. But Nakano Broadway is basically just like a mall dedicated to otaku stuff. So let me pull that one up here real quick. Actually, I'm gonna see where it ranks in search. I can spell. Jesus. Nakano Broadway. Yeah, you get a bunch of these wandering channels that just shoot raw video, showing it off. Where's my video? Shit, even Chris Broad's video comes before mine. He shot his like 3 years ago. Mother Beach. That thumbnail's good too, damn it. Oh. Where'd he go? Damn, that shit got hella buried. Anyway. Ooh. There it is. Better than Akihabara? Nakano Broadway, the otaku mecca. Okay. Let me put it in the link there for you guys. So, Nakano Broadway. Bam. There you go. Watch that one later. But yeah, Nakano Broadway has like so much good stuff. You know, they got the Mandarake store, which there's like multiple ones where you can get like different manga, and you can even get like some old not digital cells, but like hand-drawn cell animation for like the old anime. They have some of those for sale. Depending on what it is, obviously they're a lot of money, but you know, you can get manga, CDs, posters, DVDs, vinyl, laserdisc. They even have like some old, they call it Sentai, with like Power Rangers, figurines, swords, thing like that. You know, they even have like some old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. Like I'm looking at this one of like the original Leonardo from the 80s for like 25 bucks. Loose packaging. If it was sealed, it'd be a lot more. Like they have a sealed Yosagi, or hold on. Oh, okay, it's a Bebop sealed. Gotcha. I don't know the price of that. Didn't have the tag. But they got some old Transformers and man, just all kinds of good stuff. But let's go ahead and I'll load the Gundam one up as well if you want to take a look at that later. Yeah, that's part of the Diva one. Yeah, there's also a set of import shops back when I was stationed in San Diego that had like a huge Gunpla like aisle of stuff. Yeah, Yeah, this one is let's see, old guy. Hey. Bam. Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy some of those old ass. Well, the Night on Broadway isn't that old. It's like a year old. But the Odaiba one, yeah, it's like from 2014. And they had like the Gundam Cafe. It was crowded when I went, so I basically just went and just grabbed a mug. And I still have it in storage in Salina somewhere. Oh yeah, God yeah, dude. Yeah, that one's a while back. Like I said, I gotta update the that one for sure. Especially with like my newer camera equipment, you know. Oof, which reminds me. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for a new camera for sure, because like I love my Panasonic G85. I've done so much client work on that thing that I've basically made my investment back in it like several times over. You know, and but I'm definitely looking for a new camera. You know. So if this whole moving doesn't work out, come May, I would say. Oh, yeah, right. So I guess if I don't hear back from them in the next 2-3 weeks, I'll see if I can get myself a new camera. You know, because I'm not in a super big hurry to move. I'd like to move, but you know, we'll see what happens, of course. But yeah, I definitely need to get myself a new camera so that way I can go out there and shoot some real awesome stuff. Especially if I'm doing more client work, like, man, fucking tight. Ah, man. Yeah, I just miss my old Sonys. Like, even the camcorder from back then was, like, really good for the time. You know. So how do I make money in Japan while I'm there? Is it all freelance work? It's primarily freelance. There are some that are just kind of one-off gigs. Like I did a shoot and edit for someone who was starting up a Udemy course for travel writing. So we went out to Asakusa, which is like a super traditional part of Tokyo, with like temples and rickshaws and all that kinds of fun stuff. It's a very touristy part of Tokyo. So we went out there to get a lot of footage and show them like walking around and writing and stuff like that. And I made like about $700 off of that shoot, roughly. So that was pretty cool. And then there's others where, like, I did some stuff for a school out in Tokyo, where, you know, I would just record the students and send the footage off to get edited by somebody else, and that would go to their parents to show them like what the kids learned that day and fun stuff. Made about I usually just do that on Saturdays, so I'd work usually about 5 to 6 hours ish. Sometimes I get out a little early, sometimes not. And I usually make about I think like $140 or something like that. Just shooting, no editing, no nothing, just literally just going from like, you know, class to class. So it was a lot of fun. So I do that. Obviously the video editing and now shooting that I do for Eric Surf 6 is another one. And then the editing that I do for the production company that I work for, Hachiko District, that's another one. For Hachiko, it's hourly. It's not that much, but you know, they're good folks, and they were the ones that, you know, took a chance on me when I first got out to Japan. So, you know, I'm very grateful that they gave me a chance. because most of the other people that I tried to apply for work for, because I didn't have like a proper editing reel, they wouldn't really give me a chance. You know, they're just like, oh, who's this punk ass kid like wanting to edit? Like, who the fuck are you? But you know, pretty much all of my editing work has come down to who's in my network. You know, like I did a one-off gig that lasted for several months last year for a children's author who wanted to make an e-learning course. I got paid about $1,400 for that one. There was a lot of work involved with it. Of course, it was like I pretty much like gave up my entire weekends for shooting for like 2 to 3 months straight. And that was like after school and my other editing commitments, you know, so it was pretty rough, but you know, I got paid at the end of the day, so you know, all's well ends well. So yeah, there's definitely money to be made in what I do. And you know, when I first started doing this, like I originally just did it to like help a friend out, you know, as far as like editing for other people, because like before I was just editing my own videos, and I figured if I was going to make any money doing this, it would just be through my own stuff. But then when my friend's, not former friend, but at the time, his hard drive had crashed, and he was just getting back into doing YouTube, and you know, I decided just kind of help him out, because I just started school, and when you're going through college, you get a pretty nice discount on the Adobe Creative Suite. And I wasn't really making my own videos that much at the time because I just moved back to America. So I decided just kind of help him out, you know, in order to be nice, do a solid for a friend, but also to like learn this new editing program called Adobe Premiere Pro. And that's basically how I really got good using that program, was just editing a bunch of his videos and then starting to edit my videos. And you know, as things progressed, you know, he referred me to some other people, and you know, did good work for those people, and those people referred me to other people, and you know, that's the power of networking, man. You know, you just go, you do a good job, you don't be an ass in front of the people, and just do whatever you can to help them out. And it's you know, good work begets good work, basically. And pretty soon, you know, all the gigs and stuff that I got was just built off my own reputation, and, you know, and things are definitely progressing for sure. But I do want to continue to push myself, not just as a... No, that's not for me. Anyway, but I do want to continue pushing myself for as an editor and a shooter. Is there any other countries you're trying to see in that hemisphere? Oh, just within Southeast Asia? Well, travel plans are kind of on hold at the moment, just because traveling outside of Japan right now is a little risky, because you may or may not be able to get in. Japan's been kind of hokey pokey with letting non-Japanese folk in, even if you have a proper visa and everything. So I'm a little hesitant to leave the country at the moment. I might have to eventually, especially since my driver's license expired. So I'll probably have to go back to America sometime in the summer to get it renewed. But you know, we'll see. But yeah, once I'm able to travel more, I don't really have as big of a wanderlust as I did when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I wanted to go all over the place. But you know, there's obviously some other parts that I want to go to. I think it'd be nice to kind of travel Australia a little bit more, because like I went there a couple times when I was in the Navy. It seemed like a pretty nice place. The internet was complete dog shit though, so I don't ever see myself living there. But as far as visiting, it was really nice. You know, I've been to Melbourne, been to Sydney, several times. I really like Sydney. Sydney's really nice. It's basically like Australian San Diego. More like San Dingo. Heyo. But yeah, Sydney was really super nice. Lots of stuff to do out there. So that'd be really cool to go to. Especially when I don't have to worry about placating to a Liberty buddy who just wants to get drunk and get their dick wet. You know, it's like, I want to see all the cool shit. And meanwhile, they just want to go to all the brothels. And it's like, yeah, awesome, but like, I want to see the cool shit. Get a legit didgeridoo, yeah. In fact, hold on, I don't have a didgeridoo, but I do have a, and I've had this for years, if you couldn't tell from all the wear and tear, but this is a little coin pouch that I got in Australia, made of kangaroo leather. I got this, I think, out in Sydney years and years ago, and it still lasted me almost a decade at this point. Maybe like 6-7 years, I think. And I've beaten to shit, but it's still kicking, baby. Can't see myself getting anything else unless the fucking thing explodes. But you know, and especially in Japan where coins are very plentiful. It's not like in America where coins are kind of a nuisance. Like you kind of need them here in Japan. So that's why I got the coin pouch. Plus I can put other shit in there too. You know, like if I want to put in a little thumb drive. Sometimes if I'm going out to shoots or whatever, or if I want to grab some files, just put the little thumb drive in there so I don't lose it. Dunzo. But yeah, like a lot of folks, when we visited Sydney, they got didgeridoos and all kinds of other shit. But at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of space on the ship for it, so I was kind of shogun-ai. But yeah. Oh man. Yeah, going to Australia would be nice. I think if I really had the money for it, and see that's kind of what this is all hanging on, is the money, would be to travel to Europe, because that's something I never got to do when I was in the Navy. That's more of a East Coast Navy type thing, but I was West Coast, which is West Coast. So we would travel, you know, Central America, Southeast Asia, stuff like that. So I definitely love to travel around Europe, just kind of see around. I got my first little taste of it when I flew out to Japan, actually, because originally my flight was set to go from Raleigh, North Carolina, to Montreal in Canada, and from Montreal to Haneda in Japan. But when I got there, I apparently got there a little late to board, so the lady who rescheduled my flight switched it over from going to Canada to London. So I ended up going from Raleigh to London, and from London to Haneda. And that was a fun little experience, you know, because you got to see just a small little snippet of life in London, just at the airport. So it was very sanitized, but you got a little taste in it. And it was kind of funny because like there was some rowdy folks in the airport, and I'm just like, you know, just kind of smiling, just because, you know, online a lot of Brits like to think they're better than Americans and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you bloody Yanks, you don't know, shit like that. But seeing them just kind of out and about acting fools, and just like, yeah, I know where we got it from. We definitely got it from you guys. I learned it from watching you. But I don't know, it just kind of brought a smile to my face, you know? It's like, we're not so different, you and I. And I have a lot of friends who are from the UK, so I can say these things. And that's another, yeah, it's supposed to like actually be in the phone. Yeah, it is it is an experience not like no other. You know, I just want to preface this. I don't want to be racist or anything, so this isn't what that's about. Obviously, there are other minorities who are going through some tough times, especially right now. So this isn't about that. This is just my own personal experience. Just a little disclaimer so I don't get canceled. No hashtag cancel Andy San over here. But yeah, so I think especially as a white person, white guy, Hakujin, Lawai, wherever you are in the country, it's really important to go to a country where you are the minority. It's a very eye-opening experience in a good way. There's a lot of negatives to it, especially if you go to like a lot of corners of the foreigner community, the expat community. You get to see a lot of bitter, jaded folk who talk really negatively about the country and the people. But you know, I think it's very important for white folk to go to a place where they're not the minority. It gives a lot of perspective to life in this world, you know. So, and especially for Americans, because a lot of Americans don't really travel. I mean, this current circumstances aside, of course, but before that, you know. Yeah, not even a lot of Americans even have a passport. You know, it's actually kind of rare to find an American with a passport. So, I would just recommend definitely getting out of the country, first and foremost, and going to a country where you're the minority, because it gives you a broader perspective on the world, and you also get to see what other countries think of America from outside of America. You know, because like when you're in America, it's like, we're all Americans here, whatever, no big deal. But when you're outside of it, you kind of get to see what life's like outside the bubble. You know, it's a lot like when I moved out of Ohio. You know, you get to see like just how different life is outside of that. You know, and just how certain people react to people from different cultures. Obviously, if you're a white person, you know, a lot of people automatically assume you're American, and if you're heavyset, then they definitely assume you're American. 9 times out of 10, rightfully so. But if you're fat and white, then they're like, もしかしてアメリカ人ですか? Oh, 本当に? すごいじゃん. And shit like that. So, yeah, they're pretty curious. I mean, obviously it depends on person to person and context to context, but yeah, a lot of them are very interested in American life. And it's not really broadly covered, certainly not in Japan. So they're very interested in it, you know. How curious are they? Yeah, I'd say pretty interested, you know, because Japanese, they don't really get a whole lot of time to travel abroad just because they're working so much. So for somebody from a foreign country to kind of talk about their experiences and stuff, it's like they didn't have to book a ticket, they didn't have to pack, they didn't have to take time off. It's like, shit, why study abroad when abroad is coming to you? You know? So they're like super about it. So how often do I meet English-speaking Japanese people? Well, nowadays I don't really meet too many. That's because I don't get out and socialize that much. But anyway, but yeah, they're really interested in like American life, and you know, sometimes they come up. It kind of ranges, you know, like some people don't really know much about America, like pretty much they only know LA, New York, and Florida for some reason. I don't know. So if you're not from either of those 3 places, then they're just like, eh, nani sare? Wakaranai yo. They don't get it. But it's really funny, especially when I say I'm from Ohio, because, you know, Ohio means good morning in Japanese. They're like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, Ohio. Ohio. You know, they get all confused. But then when I say, it's, Ohio Shu, which is the state. And they're like, ah, so. And they think it's kind of funny. But yeah, one of the fun things about, living abroad, even in Japan, a lot of people think, if you move to Japan, obviously you're going to get in with the Japanese culture and stuff like that. And yeah, that's true. But another fun aspect is because the Tokyo area specifically is very international, you also get to explore a lot of other cultures outside of Japanese. Like I've met people, like I said, from the UK, Australia, all kinds of different places. Canada, I said earlier. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The lemon drink, But and there's a lot of other different little international restaurants as well. So you get to try foods from all different types of cultures outside of Japan. So that's really nice. But, nice does come at a price a lot of times. So those places are definitely a lot more expensive than my usual eats. But it's definitely a really good experience. And especially, if you really get in with the expat community in a positive way, then you get to see and experience just a completely different side of Japan. And that's something that I'm going through doing the freelance video editing, because like I said, I've gotten pretty much all of the jobs I've ever gotten in Japan was through my network. It was from knowing somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who needs such and such done or whatever. Like with the children's author, when I finished doing work for her, she said that she knows a person who runs a school out in Tokyo who needs a videographer because theirs went back to America, and she recommended me. We did an interview and started working for them. We got some money there. And then, with Hachiko, they were one of the people who I was referred to by one of my former best friends, because it was through one of his friends. It was a friend of his that said, hey, they're looking for some people or whatever, and just, went in, did good work, and wasn't an ass, and it's pretty amazing what being a nice person can do, So, but yeah, once things start opening up a little bit more, and I feel a little more at ease with interacting with people outside, then I think it's really going to expand my circle, as well as just broaden myself as a person. Not just for YouTube-y stuff or for networking or making stuff for other people. That's part of it, but just broaden yourself as a human being. And that's one of the things I can't recommend enough for people to do is, studying abroad is the easiest way to do it, just because there's so many scholarship and grant opportunities out there for students, and it's, good for young folk who want to go out there and go to college, but they're not really super interested in sticking around their area, because a lot of kids that they went to high school with are going there too. So it'd just be, instead of going to college, it'd be like 13th grade basically. And yeah, but even if you don't want to study out here, once the borders open up again, you can come over here for up to 3 months without a visa. You can't work, but you come stay here in the country for up to 3 months, and then you gotta go back. And I think you can stay here for a total of 6 months, but only up to 3 months consecutively. So you basically just have to like hop to another country or go back home for a little bit or whatever the case. But if you have a bachelor's degree, see, that's the thing with Japan. They're like that strict Asian parent, you know, where you absolutely need the degree to like do 95% of things here in Japan. But for me, since I don't have the bachelor's degree, I've really milked the shit out of that 5% of things I can do without it, I gotta say, because like for me, with the visa that I'm on, it's basically meant to be a kind of a temporary visa until you start a new job or whatever. But I'm gonna be switching over to a student visa. But in any event, the reason I mentioned that was it's pretty much the closest I can get as an American to what's called a working holiday visa. So a lot of other countries aside from America have this agreement with Japan to where they can come over and work for, I believe, 3 months, maybe up to 6, but at least 3 months. And you can basically just come over, work, I don't know if it's like up to 28 hours or if you can do full time, and then just go back home or whatever, and have that experience. But as an American, pretty much the best way to get out here would be to go to school. And you can go to either like a proper university or whatever, or you can go to like a language school and like really get serious about learning Japanese. And those are generally, depending on the school, they're a lot more affordable than most other schools, especially in America. And there's a lot of different grant opportunities that you can get to help make it more affordable. So it is definitely possible, you know, like, I know I'm kind of rambling because, you know, lemon sauce be hitting, but, you know, one of the reasons, probably the main reason that I want to make these videos, whether it's on my channel here or if it's on like the Andy Japandy channel or whatever it is I do online, is, you know, to let people know that it is possible to see your dreams through, you know. And there's gonna be a lot of people that say you can't do it, or you're too much of this, or not enough of that, or you don't have this, or you have this, and, you know, whether it's money, a disability, too old, too young, too fat, too whatever the case may be. You know, there's always a way around it. You know, you can definitely figure out a way to make things happen. You know, because like with most people, especially Americans, coming out to Japan, like I said earlier, pretty much the only way, aside from just visiting for a couple months or whatever as like a tourist, pretty much the only way to like live in Japan, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, is to study abroad or be married and be on a spousal visa. But there's a process for that as well. But for me, the only times I've been out here in Japan were stuff that was outside of what most other people do. You know, like most people, they come out here to either study or they come over here on a working visa to teach English to the kids and, you know, just figure it out from there. But for me, never taught any English out here at all. It's not that I'd be opposed to doing it, but, you know, with all the video editing opportunities, and plus I'll be going back to school in 10 days, like, I don't really need to right now. You know, again, that could change depending on what's going on, but for now, I don't need to. And I don't really plan on teaching English either. But yeah, the first time I came out here, it was through the military, and was stationed out in Yokosuka for 2 years, had my own apartment paid for thanks to old Uncle Sam, and yeah. And then, you know, coming back here, White Russian and play some video. Keep killing it. Really happy to see you chasing goals. Yeah, man. Yeah, don't be a stranger, dude. I'm so glad to I've seen you on here on the chat. I mean, it just depends on who you are as far as the whole English teaching thing goes. Like, if you're, because I know there's a lot of folks out there who really love to oh, sorry. I didn't know if the music too loud. My bad. Okay, is that better? Hopefully. Yeah, I did have it up a little too loud. My bad. Okay. There we go. That should be good. We'll see. Yeah, I just have it on like a playlist, so like there's some songs that are quiet and others that are a little louder. So, my bad. But yeah, Lee, don't be a stranger, dude. I usually stream on here like at least once a week, sometimes more. I did try Twitch a little bit, but you know, since streaming is more of just kind of a secondary thing for me, I just keep it here. And that's where most of my audience is anyway, so it just makes sense to do that. But yeah, so. But yeah, as far as English teaching goes, sorry if I'm a little schlammered right now. Speaking of which, before we get into that, let me give myself another adult beverage. Speaking of White Russians, Choto de Mates, I will be right back. Even though really I'm right behind the camera. So I'm not too far away. Hi. I'm just cleaning up right now. So we're gonna get ourselves another adult beverage. So ourselves that one, and get ourselves some dessert. Goodness. Okay. So yeah, I figured we'd wait until I was drinking something else. So Lee, if you're still in the chat, this is kind of the Japanese equivalent of a White Russian, kind of, sorta. It's like a white yogurt flavored drink. It sounds bad, but it's actually really good. So this is called a white sour. It's actually one of my favorite alcohol drinks out here, just because it's very easy on the stomach. So if you've been drinking a lot but need a little more to keep the party going, get yourself one of these white sours. And sometimes they have like promo flavors where it's also a strawberry and white sour, and those were fucking phenomenal. But just a regular white sour is pretty good too. Ah, yeah. That's some good shit. Then we got ourselves some mint chocolate ice cream bar. Figure with all the spicy food, you could use a little mint choco. Sorry, I can words. This is why I don't teach English to the kids. Learning all them egos from old Andy Sensei. Yeah. So, yep, got ourselves a nice mint chocolate bar. So I'll just bite it off so you can get a little cross section there. Oh, there you go. Hopefully the focus is good. You can see the mint chocolate chips and things like that in there. So, it's really good. I like these. I like these a lot. You can only get them at Lawson's though. So, it's one of the weird things, like with the convenience stores. Like, I love going to 7-Eleven in the mornings for breakfast because they have like tuna sandwiches. I just get those because I could get the tuna onigiri, which is a little rice ball with some tuna filling in it. But I like the tuna sandwiches a little better because they're flat, so you can pour a bunch of toppings and stuff, and usually I just load that shit up with hot sauce and, ooh, chef's kiss. Extra mayonnaise as well. Good stuff. So, okay. And then, you know, for lunch and supper, You know, kind of toss up between Lawson's and Family Mart. Usually I like going to Family Mart a little bit more just because I like the customer service. They're a lot more chill than Lawson's. Always seems like Lawson's, like the clerks are like trying a little too hard. You know, they're just a little too peppy, a little too Yankee, as we say out here. Just a little too hard. But that being said, Lawson's does have some fabulous foods. As you saw earlier with the ramen, got a lot of good ramen varieties there for sure. They also have like some pretty banging Hamburg steak too. Now something else I was considering getting, but sometimes man's just needs some ramen, you know. When it comes to little fried chicken, the Family Chicky, though that's the Family Mart version. Theirs is called El Chicky. I usually like going to Family Mart for that just because it's more popular over there and they have different varieties. They do over at Lawson's too. They have like little chicken poppers, which, those are, I don't know. I just like, you know, the whole patty. You know, I don't like the little chicken poppers where it's mostly just breading. You know, that's just me though. Oh yeah, good stuff. Sipping some of my own White Russian. But yeah, getting back to the English teaching thing. So, just a disclaimer. Never taught a lick of English in my life, if you couldn't tell. By my very proper enunciation. You have to properly pronounce the words. So, that's about as good as I get. But anyway, so even though I myself haven't taught any English, a lot of my friends are English teachers or have taught English in the past. And I've sat in on a couple of lessons as well. Obviously, doing videography work, a lot of it is, you know, kind of English through immersion, really. You know, but, you know, I sat in through a couple proper English lessons, and I don't know, man. It's like you have to have the right personality for it. I think, you know, if you are really good with kids and you enjoy teaching and stuff like that, I think it's a fabulous thing to get into. As far as pay goes, you know, honestly, it's meant to be kind of an entry-level job. So, you know, if you have like a wife and a bunch of kids and stuff, unless you're going into like the higher end side of English teaching, whether it's at university level or at an international school or something like that, or you get cut like a really sweet deal somewhere, which does happen, then it's probably not that good of a job, you know. But as a single guy or gal, with no significant other, kids, or anything like that, like fresh out of college, you know, it's a pretty good job. Get you started, get you a visa. That's the important thing. You know, it gets you into the country so that way you can move on to other things. Obviously, a lot of other expats, as soon as they get a little tired of the English teaching life, you know, they move on to other fields. Like IT is another field out here that's really popular. You can make a lot of money relative to what other people out here in Japan make doing IT work. Especially considering the cost of living out here, even though if you just base it off of salary, you can make like way more in the States or whatever. But because you'd have to live in a very expensive part of America to work at that job, you know, it wouldn't really be worth it. But in Japan, if you play your cards right, and you know, you kind of taper your expenses and expectations, then you can live in a pretty good place for not a whole lot of money, and working a pretty darn good job, you know. You don't really have to make all that much, relatively. Especially if you're single. You know, once kids and, you know, significant others get in the mix, then it gets a little tricky. But it's still doable, you know. But yeah, if you want to get out of English teaching, things you got to do is obviously improve your Japanese, because most other jobs for foreigners outside of English teaching, most of the time, obviously I'm one of the few exceptions out here doing what I'm doing, but you have to either have a good network, which I have, and or be good at Japanese, which I'm not yet anyway. So usually they you guys know about the JLPT, or yeah, JLPT. I said it right the first time. I thought I got it wrong. But regardless, you usually have to have a score like N2 and up before people really give a shit if they can hire you. You know, I have seen some jobs where you could get in with N3, but those are pretty rare. And even then, most of the time it just has to be N2. You know. So. Usually if you can just get N2, then you're fine. I don't really know too many other jobs that require N1 specifically, which is the highest rank you can get on the JLPT. But yeah, basically if you want to do anything outside of English teaching, most of the time, you just have to be proficient in Japanese. So that's usually through certification, or you know, if you do an interview with somebody and can do it in Japanese and conduct yourself well, then they may take a chance on you. Just depends. But that's where the power of networking comes into play. Because if you know somebody who needs a little bit of extra help, it'll be a lot easier for you to get hired, because like they know you because their friend or whoever vouched for you. So, you know, they'd be more willing to take a chance on you versus if they didn't know you, or if they didn't know anybody who knew you who could vouch for you. You know, it's like Roberto Blake says, you know, your network is your net worth, and you know, I strongly believe in that. So, you know, one of the things that I would implore people to do, you know, if they're coming out here to Japan, or just anywhere in general, it's not even just a Japanese thing, but it's to improve your network. You know, just know more people and establish a good reputation, and once you have that, man, you know, you're fucking set. You know, the gigs will start coming to you. You know? So, yeah, sorry I got a little rambly there at the end, but some of these adult beverages, you know, kind of is what it is sometimes. But yeah, with English teaching, like I said, you just have to have the right personality for it, I think. You know, if you're good with kids and don't mind interacting with them and stuff, then it's fine. You know, I know a lot of foreigners who are totally happy being an English teacher, and they love doing it. It's very rewarding for them. Then I know a bunch of others who could definitely be doing something different if they wanted to. So it just depends. But you know, you won't really know until you try it. So I would at least recommend people try it. You know, just, you know, for me in my case, I guess I'm special or whatever. You know, I just got lucky and found something else outside of English teaching to do out here in Japan to make the muns. You know, so that's another thing I'd recommend, is to improve upon skills. You know, Like when I was making videos for YouTube, obviously way back in the day, like nobody really knew what YouTube would become, or even just online content creation. You know, that was one of the things that I jumped on very early. You know, I knew that there was something with making stuff, whether it was for my blog back in the day or making these vlogs or whatever. There was definitely something to be had with it, and just kept on keeping at it. You know, just kept on making videos, kept on reaching out to people and interacting in the comments and all this, that, and the other, which truth be told, I definitely got to do that more. I haven't really been interacting in the comments as much as I used to, but one of the reasons, in addition to me being just busy as hell, is also I don't get notifications about comments that I leave anymore, which kind of pisses me off. You know, like if either the person who posted the video liked the comment or said something or whatever, like I don't get any notifications about that anymore. So, you know, for me, that's one of the really fun things about YouTube, is interacting with people. And I know there's a lot of memes about how toxic YouTube comments can be, and they definitely can be pretty damn toxic. They definitely gotten a lot better over the years. Like, if people think they're toxic now, they should have seen it back in the early days. It was fucking brutal. But thankfully, they have a lot of tools to kind of help with, you know, curbing that a little bit, and you know, stuff like that. But you know, like I was saying, you know, sorry, brain's a little, you know, when the drinks start flowing, the brain starts slowing. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus. Anyway, with skills, video editing and all that stuff, you know, when I was just doing it for myself, like, you know, I was just making my own videos. I was just kind of within my own little bubble. You know, I didn't never, the thought of like editing for somebody else, certainly for a living, didn't even cross my mind. You know, like I said earlier, it was, you know, I figured if I was going to succeed on YouTube, it would be through my own efforts and making my own videos. But, you know, turns out the most success I had financially was through editing for other people. You know, whether it was editing for Eric Surf 6, Brian from Ramen Adventures, doing little one-offs here and there for like Akasan, Justin Wang. I did a couple things for him. Mostly just like stream highlights, so nothing too serious. But I have worked with him in the past. He's a pretty good guy, you know. Always pays me on time. Doesn't really, you know, have too many issues with him at all. Real good guy. And I love his content, so, you know, that definitely helps. But yeah. So, I guess, you know, one of the fun things that, and this was kind of a full circle moment for me, was on LinkedIn, my stepdad sent me a link to a job for a factory nearby where I used to live in Ohio. But the thing was, they were looking for somebody to make videos for them, to be part of their digital marketing campaign, I guess, to kind of show off like new products and things like that, making videos. And it was just such a full circle moment for me, because, you know, I thought that I had to leave Ohio in order to find any work doing what I'm doing, you know, making videos and stuff. But with the just kind of the pervasiveness of online content creation, even in rural nowhere Ohio, it's starting to seep in for the companies out there. You know, so even factories and stuff like that are getting into the game. And of course, you know, there's definitely potential in making videos for them as well, not just for new products, but also, you know, they put out like safety videos and learning how to operate new gear and stuff like that. So there's definitely potential for stuff like that, and I think I can definitely see that moving into the future, as well as them from like a PR standpoint getting into the online sphere, you know. So yeah, you know, point being is this is definitely a field that I never really thought I would get this deep into, but I'm so glad I did. You know, it's given me so very much, and I'm basically an online content creator full time, but I only have like 1,000 or so subs on this channel, you know, 1,000 or so on the Andy Japandi channel, and 4,000 on my editing channel, and that's it. You know, I don't have 100,000 subs or 500,000 subs or 1 million or 2 million or 10 million. I just have barely over 1,000. I'm still able to get it done. Obviously, I don't make the majority of my money from YouTube, of course. But, you know, I do make some money from it through AdSense. It's not a lot, mind you. It's mostly just a little bit of extra beer money every couple months. Nothing too serious. You know, I can get some beers and a good meal. That's about it. But it is there. And, you know, I do YouTube to, you know, document my life and to also show people that I can do what I do with video editing, and to, you know, put a face to the name, basically. Because, like, there's a lot of editors and stuff out there that do what I do and do it even better than I do it. Like, I don't think I'm a super awesome editor by any stretch, but I just have a really good knowledge of how to edit, how to cut, and I just get shit done, man. You know? So, if I can give you guys anything, it's, you know, hope that, you know, no matter what your goals are in life, whether it is to be a full-time YouTuber or to be a full-time editor or travel the world or whatever, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly my goals, but you know, the reason that I do YouTube, in addition to like documenting my life, you know, because I've been on it for over 15 years, so it's a fun little look back at what I did back in those days. But in addition to documenting that, it's also to give hope to people who are, you know, looking to better themselves, whether that's, you know, raising their skill level, traveling, whatever. You know, because if I can do it, I know it's super cliche, but if I can do it, I 100% believe anybody can do it. You know, because by all accounts, I should not have ever come out to Japan. Just in terms of the circumstances and everything that was going against me. You know, like, I had pretty much nothing, you know, when the idea for coming out to Japan first came about. You know, like, I had, when YouTube first started up, and I started up on YouTube, Jesus, that's a sentence, but when J-vlogging first started, in like the early days of YouTube, like, you know, 07, 08-ish, somewhere around there, that started giving me the idea of, you know, maybe moving back to Japan, or not moving back to Japan, or like going to Japan again, because I'd always wanted to do it, even when I was a little kid, you know, because of my cousins and stuff, like I talked about it before. But seeing all these ordinary people out and about in Japan living their lives through J-vlogs, you know, really gave me a lot of hope in that, you know, even someone like me could do it, you know. But, you know, I was just looking through my circumstance, and I seem like the most unlikely of people to have made it out to Japan. Not just once, but twice, you know. Because I was super duper broke. I was a college dropout, and I had like no future. Like, especially before I joined the Navy, you know, like I said, I was a college dropout. I had no money, and jobs were drying up left and right. And even if I could get a job, like the best I could get living where I was living was working in a factory, and that's something I did not want to do at all, because it just seemed like the end stop for all my dreams. You know, it's just, this is your life now, you know, and I just could never see myself working in a place like that ever. And so I was just like, shit, man, what am I gonna do? And you know how life is, man. You know, one thing leads to another, and go from joining the Navy, traveling the world, getting out, getting a chance to go back to Japan again on my terms. And you know, could I have done things differently? Of course. You know, like I said, with going to school out here in Japan, I could have just went to school out here in Japan right away and not have to go back to America at all. But, you know, you win some, you lose some, you live, you learn. All about timing. I mean, I might not have even gotten into freelance video editing had I not gone back to America, you know, and I might not have even pursued it as hard as I did had I not gone back to America and started working at those shitty fast food jobs and, you know, just barely making enough to scrape by. You know, I might not have pursued it as hard, because, you know, as fun and rewarding as video editing is, it is hard, you know, like it's not fun 24/7, but you know, just gotta do what you gotta do, basically. I didn't really know what else to say after that. My mind just kind of went blank. I guess too many of these adult beverages, right? But yeah, guys, so like I said, school's gonna be starting up in 10 days, so I'm really looking forward to that, and looking forward to moving forward with you know, my bachelor's degree, because if all things go well, should be graduating in 3 semesters, so really feeling excited about that for sure. Yeah. So, all right, I think it's time for me to get the fuck off, because old man Andy Sand's brain is like out to lunch at this point. So I just want to thank all you for tuning in to this. I guess depending on where you are in the world, this very late live stream. Like if you're on East Coast in America, it's like 1 in the morning. If you're on West Coast, it's like 10, so it's not too bad. But regardless, I think I'm just gonna get off here and enjoy my Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend as well. And with that said, this is the Andy San signing for now. As always, forever, we'll see you next time. Catch you later, guys. Bye.